I'm Ryan,
Yeah.
and we are the.
Movie club.
Today we're talking about the movie
Fun and fancy free.
Fun and Fancy Free.
Fancy dance party?
Fun and Fancy Free, not Dance Party.
Yeah.
All right, so we're still in our uh, Disney era where we are doing some animated shorts. This one just consisted of two movies, right?
It's like a story that you already know, Jack and the Beanstalk, but Mickey and Donald like Goofy.
The episode had two stories. Uh, Probably the most famous one is the Mickey and the Beanstalk, but it started with a story about Bongo the circus bear, right?
Yeah.
Bongo the circus bear. Oh, and one other thing, Jiminy Cricket was in this movie and sang a song at the beginning of the movie, so we kind of thought it was cool that we already knew that character.
The Jimmy Cricket's in three movies, and so he's in the Christmas movie, Pinocchio, yeah. Fancy free, which is this one?
Okay, so Bongo. Tell us about Bongo, Jim.
Um, he was this bear. Yeah, he wanted to be a wild bear,
Yeah.
and uh, he went in the wild,
He broke out of his train and went into the wild.
and he found a girl bear.
Right here. Yep.
She has a flower on her head. She has light fur,
Yep.
and
They like each other, and then how do bears show that they like each other in the movie?
they slap down.
They slap each other. Yep. And that was basically it. It was just kind of Bongo in the circus, and then Bongo in the woods, and he falls in love, and then he's like with a bunch of bears, and they slap each other, right?
But
It's kind of a
not the big guy.
yeah. It was kind of a silly movie. I don't really know if there was any message or anything that we learned from that movie. Was there
Mm.
anything?
Mm, even though you don't have much food, nature special thing.
Even though what?
Even though you don't have much food, doesn't mean you have to get really angry like Donald did in the
Oh,
movie.
we're talking about the Bongo one though.
I I
Any
don't know.
message from that?
I don't know.
I think it was. I mean, maybe now that I'm thinking about it, like he wanted to be in the circus, and then he wanted to, and then he was in the woods, and he didn't really like the woods, so he probably wanted to go back to the circus. So sometimes you always think about like things are better here, things are better there, and then just maybe just kind of
Back and
enjoy
forth,
where
back
you're.
and forth.
Yeah, you were kind of talking about that, remember? So maybe just kind of enjoy where you are, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Um, yeah, and then oh, there was one other thing that remember we noticed that this is the first time that Chip and Dale were in a movie.
Yeah.
Yep.
Dale didn't have a red nose during this time.
Yep.
Because it was the old school one.
Yep. I think it was the first time I saw Chip and Dale.
So cartoon was Dale, even though he still had a black nose, even though he had the same teeth as he does today.
Yep. Okay, so then the next one, Jiminy Cricket goes to like a birthday party, and we see a guy who is telling a story with ventriloquist dummies, right? And
Yeah.
he tells a story of Mickey and the Beanstalk. So why don't you kind of,
First Disney movie that ever had a puppet in it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it was live action. Then it was a guy telling a story about Mickey and the Beanstalk. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what happened, Archie, in that one?
Um. Uh. Uh. A giant stole a violin
A harp?
and a
Yeah.
heart, and
Yes. So then that made it.
then they did. And then he made them the money.
Yeah, who were the character?
This. Yeah, those are actually real diamonds.
So there was a harp that made this place really rich and everything was good, but then the giant came and stole the harp,
Yeah.
and then they were poor. And who were the characters that were poor?
Mickey, Goofy, and Donald.
Yep. So they were really really hungry. And what did Donald?
Wanted to kill the cow and
Yep.
eat them.
But
Like
then
a hamburger. Hamburgers are actually.
Mickey stopped them, and then what did Mickey do with the cow?
He stole her beans. And then Donald got mad and he threw it into a hole. and then where the dirt is. Where the dirt is, and then it grew when they were sleeping. It grew a beanstalk, and it didn't even wake them up.
Yep. So they climbed the beanstalk and they saw that there was a castle in the sky. It was the giant's castle.
They saw big food and they ate it.
Yep. And then they discovered the harp that was stolen from them.
And Donald was eating the cheese like this. Nom 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 nom.
Yep. Okay, so they saw the harp, they escaped with the harp, and then what happened, Archie?
Uh, he will make it was good to tie his shoes, and then he
The giant.
and then the giant went up, and he was climbing and Mickey was climbing out the beanstalk. The giant was climbing down the beanstalk, and Mickey saw Goofy and Donald, and they cut the beanstalk up, and the giant died because he fell.
So they fell. We thought that the giant died, but then remember, the movie kind of ended with the at the birthday party, and then the giant came and opened the roof. So the giant actually didn't die in this version, but in like the normal Jack and the Beanstalk, he does die.
Because the giant's looking for Mickey Mouse. Dun dun dun.
Yep. All right. So I guess anything of how you think this could be represented at Disneyland?
Maybe a ride.
Okay, well, you gotta what about the ride?
Show parts of the movie.
Is that your answer always?
Well, I want it to be like a short, like Mr. Toad.
Yeah. Did you have any ideas of how you could see this at Disneyland?
I think there should be a place where you can plant stuff like a beanstalk.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking something like that. I think it'd be kind of cool if they just had some area where there was just a beanstalk. You couldn't really climb it, but just like seeing the beanstalk.
Or you could have like a thing at rock climbing places, have that thing around you, and you climb up it, and then you fall down.
Just climbing beanstalks.
Yeah.
And maybe if there's other movies that have high things, you can climb those.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then I don't know if there's anything about Bongo. Maybe he could just be like, he could just be somewhere.
So maybe the girl Bongo and Bongo could be walking around, okay, taking pictures with people like Mickey and Minnie. I know one. I think there should be a ride where it could be a roller coaster where you could go. It's a water ride, and you could go like down the waterfall.
Oh, like, they were in the waterfall. Well,
there can't be two Splash Mountains at Disneyland.
Well, those are some good ideas. All right, so let's talk about rankings. So, from 1 to 10, what would you rank Fun and Fancy Free, June?
6.
Well, you ranked it. What score would you give it?
5.
A 5 out of 10?
Yeah.
And why do you think that?
Because it's not really like it doesn't have, there's only one girl character, actually 2.
So you like movies that have more girl characters?
Yeah, only 2 girls in the movie, the harp and the girl.
Okay. Archie, what would you give it? Between 1 and 10. Okay, why would you give it a 5?
It was like a fun movie. They were like in a way the movie, and they were showing themselves again, and they were talking about the movie again. Yeah.
All right, I'd probably give it about a 6 out of 10. I like the Mickey and the Beanstalk one more than the Bongo. I thought the Bongo one was kind of silly.
Well, it's not.
I did like the Mickey and the Beanstalk version, but again, we're still kind of in the realm of we're just telling 2 different stories. It's not like a full movie, but we're getting close to that.
To the classics like Snow White and Ariel.
Okay.
to like that sky. And comment what's your favorite Disney ride. And make sure to like that.
All right, next time we'll see you when we're talking about melody time. Melody time. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Goodbye.